Hey everybody, welcome back to the Go Spartanburg podcast. This is Mike Miller, and we've got a really special episode today. I'm diving into sports for the first time, and I'm with Wofford head basketball coach Jay McAuley, and we are in the Jerry Richardson Arena at Wofford College, which has to be one of the nicest small college basketball arenas anywhere. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Mike.
I know this is your fourth season as head coach.
Going into my fourth year.
Tell us a little bit about your background and how you ended up being the head coach at Wofford.
Yeah, it's been quite a journey. I grew up in Marietta, Georgia, played college ball at University of Georgia. Had a tremendous second year of grad school as a GA, in which we won the SEC championship in Atlanta with the Bulldogs, and that kind of catapulted me into getting my first gig, which was here as a volunteer assistant under Mike Young back in 2008. We won in 2010. I got another job with Chris Holtman, starting his head coaching career at Gardner-Webb. Helped rebuild that program with him, and then went to Furman for 4 years with Nico, another first-time head coach. Learned a lot from those two stops, and then was asked to come back here in 2017. Had an unbelievable team those 2 years with Coach Young and that group, and in 2019 shattered a lot of records. And obviously Coach moved on to Virginia Tech, and I got an opportunity. So it's gone by quick. A lot of fun stops, a lot of fun memories.
Yeah, Wofford just really in the last 5-10 years has really, risen to the top of small college basketball. It's
Yeah.
a lot of great teams, and you've beaten a lot of big teams over the years.
Yeah. We've had to play a top 25 non-conference schedule pretty much year in and year out for different reasons, but scheduling is getting harder and harder, and we now expect to go into those places and not only compete but have a chance to win, and that helps us prepare for games in here and in the league play, and obviously in March when it matters the most.
So when you start winning games against those big teams, does it make it harder to schedule them?
Very much so, very much so. And we've to start this building 4 or 5 years ago, we were fortunate enough to have some Carolina schools, Georgia Tech, North Carolina, South Carolina, come here, and that's been hard to do because we beat Georgia Tech in here and beat some of those teams on the road as well. But hopefully in the future we'll be able to get some more big schools in here.
And what year did this building open?
It opened in 2018-19, I believe.
Okay, and this is a huge step up from the old gym.
Yeah,
At Wofford.
it is. It is. Which that building, which is still on campus, had a lot of good memories. I think Coach Young had an 85% winning percentage there. It was a tremendous home court advantage. So many good players came through there, and we obviously transferred that mojo into here in this new arena here that we're lucky to have.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt to have Jerry Richardson as an alumni of the college.
Oh, he's a fantastic representative of the college, and one we're really proud of.
Yeah, I actually went to high school with one of his sons.
Nice.
So Mark Richardson and I were classmates at Spartan High.
Yeah, family members of his are still in town and come to games, and he comes back a few times a year, and we're very thankful for his support.
So you've got your upcoming season starting next week?
Monday.
Okay.
Monday, it's coming.
What are some of the highlights of that season?
Well, we've got 6 non-conference home games in this beautiful arena, and then 9 more in conference play. And our league is ranked anywhere from 10th to 12th in the country out of 30-plus conferences. So really good brand of basketball, a lot of good teams, a lot of great players and coaches in our league. That'll be tested after Christmas, but the non-conference will go to LSU, Vanderbilt, Texas A&M, another mid-major power in Drake, who's expected to win their league. So we'll be tested pretty good in the months of November and December in preparation for SoCon play.
Yeah, those are some of the most interesting games of the year, really.
They are.
Early on.
And our guys like playing in those games. We get a chance to travel to new places and, compete against some of the best in the country.
Who are some of your key players on your roster this year?
Well, we've got a really good front court returning. BJ Mack, who's from Charlotte. and Messiah Jones, who's from Chicago. Those are our two seniors that will play a lot for us, that have a lot of experience. And we'll have another walk-on senior, John Steelman, who's been great echoing the right things in our locker room. But that'll be kind of our main force, is the front court, our big guys who are around 6'6" to 6'9". We add another 6'9" Canadian, who's a transfer from Southern Illinois, Kyler Filowich, who's going to be really, really good for us. And then we'll have some freshmen and some unproven backcourt players that we've needed all summer and preseason to get ready for what we got coming Monday, and obviously in the non-conference. So a lot of new faces at the guard spot that hopefully we take care of the ball and make some shots.
So how many returning players do you have from last year?
We've got 4. We've got 4 returning players and a blend of freshmen and transfers that are added to the roster.
So is that 4 returning starters or just 4 returning players?
Players,
Wow.
returning players. So we had 4 graduate last year, and 3 have gone on to a grad program and use their 5th year. And then the other guys are newcomers, really good, talented freshman class, and some guys that have played college basketball before that'll be joining us.
Yeah, I know that the rules have changed a lot in the last few years, with the COVID and then with the transfer rules changing and the NIL stuff. Could you elaborate a little bit about how that's affected the way you populate your roster?
Yeah, there's no doubt it's changed a lot of things. There's been a lot of movement in traditional schools that have been able to keep guys for 3-4 years, and maybe that's been changed a little bit, but there's so many factors to that. You mentioned the 5th year, extra 5th year that guys are getting. So starting grad school early and graduating their undergraduate makes sense for a lot of kids. To get 2 degrees as opposed to 1, I don't think anyone faults the kids for doing that. But there's all these new rules coming down the pipe here the last 2 or 3 years that have allowed kids to make decisions and move from one place to the other. And some of that is due to what's been happening with COVID the last couple of years, right? Going back closer to home or not having the full college experience. So there's a lot of factors to that. But it certainly takes from your roster at times with a program like ours, but it also has allowed us to get really good players like BJ Mack and Kyler and Carson McCorkle that have found a spot at Wofford.
How many transfers do you have?
We've got 3.
3, okay.
We've got 3.
And what exactly is the rule now? Does everybody get 5 years of eligibility still?
There's one more year of guys being able to have that. So not everybody, the freshmen that came in last year and this year will not get a 5th year. It was only the ones that were involved during that 2-3 year period where things were disrupted.
So during the COVID season, you still played a season, right?
We did.
Okay.
We did. We actually played a great season. We had a half game out of first place, and we were going to play the last place team in Sanford to win the league, and they got a call that they couldn't participate for obvious reasons, and we weren't able to make the trip. So we finished a half game out, which was really hard for our seniors that had worked hard to stay diligent, to stay as safe as we could. But I was really proud of that team. We played as many games as we could, had about 6 or 7 games canceled, and we just kept moving forward and doing the best we could.
The Southern Conference, I know you mentioned the Southern Conference being among the top mid-majors. Seems like the Southern Conference doesn't get much respect, though, when it comes to March Madness selections. I can't remember a time they ever got 2 teams in.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, we're right there. We're right there, and that speaks to the growth of the league and how respected the league is. 2019, we would have got 2 teams in, and then 20 and 21, with things being disrupted, that didn't happen. So we've been close a few times, but usually the team that's won it has been the best team in the league that year, so that's not allowed us to do that. But it's certainly a league that's gaining respect by the year, and if you're finishing 10th or 11th or 12th, you're right outside the cusp of the Power 5 conferences. And I think it's a matter of time before we get 2 in. And We were ranked 7th in the NCAA tournament, a 7 seed in 2019. That was one of the highest seeds a Southern Conference member has gotten in recent years. And I think last year Chattanooga was 12th. So it's hard. It's hard to win. It's hard to get to the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I know it is. I remember that game against Kentucky where Fletcher McGee, after being the best three-point shooter in the world the whole season, just kind of went a little bit cold that day. And boy, you sure had a good chance to beat Kentucky, it looked like. But
we were right there, and certainly wouldn't have been there without Fletcher McGee and all the things he did well for this program. And that was a special group, and one that still comes back in the summer because they love Spartanburg, they love being around this facility, and they love pouring into our program, especially the younger guys, to tell them stories and give them advice and all that.
Is he playing professionally in Europe or somewhere?
We've got over 26 pros that are playing, which speaks a lot to our development and our program.
Really?
So it's a lot of pros that have been here the last 10, 15, 20 years.
I did not know that. That's pretty amazing.
Well, I think the neat thing about our program is that it's a big-time connector in the community. Spartanburg is a growing city and area, and obviously the amount of families, the support that we get in this beautiful arena. It's a great place to come watch a game. It's a great place to bring your family. And we do camps in the summer. Those have been sold out the last couple of years as we've been able to kind of get back to doing that. And I just think the connection between our basketball program and the community is getting stronger and stronger. And we look forward to getting back out in the community and building more relationships. But invite everybody to come to our games this year. We've got 15 really good home games, and it won't disappoint you. It'll be a fun atmosphere.
Yeah, I know from experience. I was going to come. I went to Furman, so a couple of years ago I was going to try to come to the Furman game. I waited too late to get tickets, and that thing was sold out.
Yeah, we usually have a bunch of sellouts, but there's definitely a lot of games that we would welcome to have everybody.
How many people does this arena hold?
3,500, and probably another 500 to 1,000 standing room around the concourse.
Okay, yeah, and it's a great game day experience. I've been to half a dozen games in the last 2 or 3 years, and it's like a mini NBA arena almost. All the amenities and so forth. It's
one of the nicest arenas in the Southern Conference and the country, and we've had many great ball games here. A lot of good players and coaches been through here, and I think this year will be no different.
Is the Southern Conference tournament always going to be in Asheville, just with this nice arena? Any chance the conference tournament might be here sometime?
They always like a neutral site, and Asheville's been really good at hosting our conference, and they do a lot of neat things in preparation for the tournament. And I think we're contracted with them for the years to come, and everybody's happy with that. They do a great job, and it's an hour from us, so we can get all of our fans up there. And ESPN is latched on. We have the most TV games we've ever had in our conference this year, including at the conference tournament. So, as we talked about earlier, the respect for the league is growing.
Let me ask you one thing about the game. I know Wofford's been really three-point shots have been a big part of your game for at least for a while. What's your feeling on the three-point shot? You think it's a great thing?
I do.
Okay.
I do. It's the way the game has moved, and usually where the NBA game is, European basketball, it kind of trickles down to college, and it certainly has in a big way. And we got a banner hanging up there with the record of 509 made threes in a career, Fletcher McGee. That's pretty powerful to sell in recruiting. The way we shoot the basketball, the way we have this facility and our practice facility to get up as many shots as we want around classes and study hall and all that. So it's a part of the game that's only getting bigger and bigger, and if you can't shoot, it's going to be hard to play you in today's game. But the thing that makes Wofford really dangerous is we've always had a collection of post players that can really draw a crowd or create a lot of attention to the defense to open up three-point shooters. And I think you'll see that again with the front court we got this year.
Okay. Yeah, it's certainly exciting. Can turn a game around in no time.
Yeah, and it's what the fans want to see. The Steph Curry threes, the Fletcher McGee threes, and fast-paced game. And, I think you'll see at our camps too, 6-year-olds and 8-year-olds, they don't want to work on layups and form shooting. They want to go right to the three-point line. So that's where the game's headed.
It does give it an opportunity for shorter guys like me to play a little more basketball and have a shot at it.
Amen to that.
Okay. Were you a guard when you played? Or?
I was a point guard.
Point guard. Okay.
I was a point guard. So point guard and a really good student. That was my job.
Okay. Yeah, and I'm amazed that these players are able to put in the amount of time they do at basketball, and certainly Wofford is no easy place to attend academically. How do the players deal with that pressure?
It's a lot. What we ask our guys to do, and all student athletes, I've been through it, and it's gotten even more demanding, even more time consuming. It's a lot what's on their plate, but in turn they're getting a great experience. A lot of life lessons going on here behind me, right, in the locker room, how you deal with things, adversity, and on top of that you're getting a world-class education at a place like Wofford. And Wofford has helped so many student athletes and students over the years, and it's just a great place with outstanding people. And my wife and I and our family love being here. We love the community. We love Spartanburg, and I'm glad that Wofford's right in the heart of that.
Okay. Well, Coach, thank you so much for taking your time to be with us today. I know you've got a lot of things to do, and I really appreciate your time. We certainly wish you good luck with the season, and hope everything goes well.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate you having me this morning.
Okay.